Hey guys, thanks for stopping by my channel. My name is John, and today we're going to be talking about creating a color palette with two different colors. I'm going to run through some of my favorite design tools to create color palettes rapidly and to get a bunch of different iterations on color palettes so you can quickly see a bunch of different options. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about color theory in general. This is going to be part of a longer series of videos where I talk about color theory tactics and how you can implement them into your designs to create a more successful and visually pleasing design. As always, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like below for the YouTube algorithm, it would be greatly appreciated. And if you're interested in content like this, it would be a big help if you'd also subscribe to the channel. Alright, with all that out of the way, let's develop some color palettes. Okay, before we start developing our own color schemes, I think it's important to learn a little bit about color theory so that when we are picking our colors, we can be informed as to the standards of what kind of looks good in general. So there's three types of bicolor color schemes: monochromatic, analogous, and complementary. We'll start off with monochromatic. A monochromatic color scheme varies itself by adjusting the shades, tones, and tints. Tints are when you add white to the hue, while shades and tones are created by adding darker colors. This is probably one of the easier color schemes to start with, as it's pretty hard to mess up. You just want to make sure that you have a lighter shade and a darker shade so that there's proper contrast in your design. Analogous color schemes are where you take two colors on the color wheel that are next to each other. For example, a blue and a green. When using an analogous color scheme, it's best practice to let one color dominate most of the design, and use the secondary color as an accent. Spreading two analogous colors evenly throughout a design can kind of make the design begin to look muddy. In a complementary color scheme is where you take two colors on opposite sides of the color wheel to create your color scheme. This is one of my favorite ways to create a two-color color scheme, as there's proper contrast within the shades, tones, and tints, as well as the hue. Complementary color schemes often make designs pop really heavily, while something like a monochromatic design can be used successfully when going for a minimalistic look. So now that we have a basic understanding of how color schemes work and what monochromatic, analogous, and complementary colors are, let's jump into creating some of our own color schemes. So as I talked about before in my 3D text pop tutorial, one of my favorite tools to generate different color schemes is Coolors. Coolors lets you quickly iterate on different color schemes by pressing the spacebar and shifting rapidly through different colors. Let's start off by creating a monochromatic color scheme. For the monochromatic color scheme, I think I'm going to go with a blue, and I really like this true blue that actually popped up right when I opened Coolors, so I'm going to lock that in by hitting the little lock button. A little shortcut if you're really rapidly iterating through things is if you hit Command 1 through 5, it will lock the slot 1 through 5 respectively. So now that I have this true blue locked in, let's shift through some different shades, tints, and tones. We want to make sure that we're looking for a lighter blue, and I really like this blue jean right here. So I think that'll be our first color scheme. Now that we've selected these two colors, we can export them as an image. We can title it whatever, so for this one we'll do monochromatic. You can pick your color space, but I'm just going to go with hex for this one. And click export. And that will save a PNG file to your downloads. Once you've created your color scheme, you can drag the file into your Illustrator document so that you can quickly sample colors. Okay, let's move on to developing an analogous color scheme. So we'll unlock this true blue and blue jeans and continue to shift through colors. This time I'm going to start looking for an orange. So I really like this orange peel orange, and we're going to hit Command 1 to lock that in. And then to create an analogous color scheme, we need to switch for our second color to a red or a yellow. So we'll continue to shift through our colors until we find a red or a yellow shade that we're into. And I really like this carmine. So we're going to lock that in, and again, hit export, export a PNG, in a hex color space, and title it analogous. We'll open back up our Illustrator file and drag that into Illustrator. So now we have monochromatic and analogous. For our third color scheme, we'll create a complementary. So we'll go back to Coolors, unlock orange peel, and unlock carmine. So for this color scheme, I think we're going to start looking for a blue and an orange that we like. So we'll shift through until we find one, and I really like this medium turquoise. So we'll lock that one in, hitting the lock button or pressing Command 3. And continue to shift through until we find an orange that we like. And I really like this whole color scheme, to be honest, so I think what I'm going to do is lock in this cinnabar and export it as is, because I might use this in the future. So again, we'll go up to export, same process, hit image, title it complementary, and export it as a PNG. And like I said before, we'll take it from there and drag it into Illustrator. So I've gone ahead and created a logo that we can test these different color schemes on. Flex Health Solutions is a final logo for a project for a medical patient monitor that I designed for one of my final projects in my advanced user interface class. So as you can see, currently I have a blue-green color scheme, but we're going to be switching that up to our monochromatic, analogous, and complementary color. So we'll start off with monochromatic. We'll take everything that's currently blue and shift it to our darker blue, and anything that's currently green and shift it to our lighter blue. Okay, and that's our monochromatic color scheme. So we'll copy this over and do the same thing with our analogous. To quickly copy something, you can alt-click and drag, which will quickly copy and paste everything. So we're going to repeat the same process of selecting everything that's the darker blue and change it to our darker red. And then we'll do the same thing with the other pieces and change them to the lighter orange. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now let's finish it off with our complementary color scheme. Again, we'll copy and paste the logo using alt-click and drag, and then turn the darker colors to this darker blue, and we'll change the lighter colors to a lighter orange. So now we can see we have our three different color schemes put together. It's pretty quick and easy to iterate through different colors for your logos or whatever you might be designing, and Coolers is a great application to help you do that. I think my favorite out of all of these, to be honest, is probably the monochromatic color scheme. I was really going for a simple look and a simple interface for this product, so I think it fits the best with that general aesthetic, and I think that the color choices were probably the best out of all of them. Again, I didn't spend a ton of time picking these colors out. You would probably want to do more for yourself in your own designs, but this is just a quick example of how to quickly iterate through the process. Okay guys, thanks so much for watching this video. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like below for the YouTube algorithm, or maybe even a comment. And if you're interested in content like this, it would be a huge help if you'd subscribe to the channel. Alright, thanks again for watching. Later.